What is up everybody, Kai here, and today we will go over the 1 year anniversary livestream. We have a lot to talk about, but I will try to keep it short as I do in this recap. I will leave a link to the livestream in the description for more detailed information, starting with every class got an upgrade to this class skill. G5 has been unlocked. On top of that, all classes are also getting a new passive which unlocks at level 23. There are also some minor changes to skills themselves, but let's go over the G5 class skills for now. The Blade Warden will have a stronger counter attack. It looks like quite strong, I have to say, from the video. I am looking forward to it. I've been enjoying Blade Warden a lot, so that's good. The Twin Striker will have a dash attack, which is great. Honestly, I think Twin Striker really needed a dash. It was lacking one, so that's a good change for them too. The Keen Striker will have a stronger heal and a buff that auto heals upon having max healing gauge and using the skill. I think this is quite nice. Sadly, they can't do much for that skill, so it's the best they could do, I would say. Spellweaver will be able to move while regaining EP. I think that is huge. On top of that, they will have engram stacks, which increases damage dealt to enemy, as well as increased attribution accumulation. On top of that, the engram stacks can also be used for evading and more damage with your ultimate. The engram will passively build up as you deal damage. The foe breaker will also get a dash attack. You can also use a charge shot with it if you hold it down and pull back. If 6 or more cartridges are consumed, it also increases your damage temporarily. So that is quite nice as well. Blitz Lancer gets probably the weakest one out of everyone, which is a follow-up attack to the jump. I mean, it's not necessarily the weakest because you can dive straight in now, but now you can dive at the enemy after doing your jump. Beat Performer will have a thing where if you activate the T skill 3 times, you get an effect of Paraphernalia, which will have damage reduction. It can also have a damage increase or recovery up, depending on if it's a left or back derived attack. And that is it for the class skill upgrades. Next up, room arrangement has arrived. With this, you can place furnishings in your quote-unquote bedroom. You can get the furnishings by exchanging your GC at an NPC, and they also plan to add named enemy plushies / furnishings in the future. I personally hope that these will be rare drops because it would be cool to have more rare drops within the game. Next up, they showed us a little roadmap with more difficult content on the way in the upcoming month. As we can see in the screenshot, it looks like they are preparing difficult content for up to September for now. In June, we have the Valiant Arena. In July, we get the Training Grounds. And in August, we get the Flame Demi Dragon Be Imagine. In September, we get a solo version of the Valiant Arena, which also is hard. And with still more on the way as well. I think this is good, because they're finally laying out something for more hard content coming. And this hard content will not expire, so it will just be in the game. We have changes to the equipment system. There are now different type of weapon rarities, common, rare, and legendary weapons now exist. These weapons can also have bonus effects, such as max HP up, stamina ratio up, percentage in attack increase, percentage in defense increased as well. On top of that, there are also these other effects that you can see at the top of the screenshots. One of them is when you evade, you deploy a healing bubble, and the other one is on critical hit, your cooldown is reduced immediately, and these can apply to every weapon. There are also weapon specific effects that only applies to each weapon individually. However, these effects only apply to legendary weapons, so you would need to have a legendary weapon for this bonus effect. Next up, the weapon glows were introduced. Now your weapon can glow. This glow is based on your gear score. The higher your gear score, the more intense your weapon will glow. I think this is neat and something a lot of people have been asking for, so it's definitely a welcomed addition. Next up, we see the devs talking about difficult content. They were showing the reward from them as well as when they will come out. They have stated that it is very difficult. As example, for the Valiant Arena, you need a pre-made party of 6 before you can enter. The first one that will release this month will have a mount and an outfit as a reward. I think this is quite nice. It's definitely nice to have more mounts as well, with Mount Caravan 2 being a thing. As mentioned before, this content will not vanish, so you can do it at any time to obtain these rewards. And the one in July will give weapon skins, and from what I can see, these don't look bad at all. I use the bow primarily, and I have to say that one looks quite good. There will also be specific skills that can only be used during this content, but I linked that below in the description. Now, we have some mission and dungeon changes. It looks like they will rotate the dungeons around, so we will have different variants of dungeons to grind for the same weapons, giving us more variety while grinding. However, if we look at the gear score, 12.7k is quite high, so we'll have to see when we will get there. Next up, the Demi Dragon was finally fully implemented. Starting soon, we can obtain this bee imagine in-game completely, rather than it being temporary. As you can see in the screenshot, it looks like we can obtain the materials in different ways via different activities to unlock it altogether. Next up, they showed us an idea of their gameplay loop for their game. It's kind of a standard compared to any other MMO, but I think it's heading in the right direction with this idea. As it says right there, you can see we do our main quest, then we farm our weapons, imagines, and upgrade our gear, and after that we start challenging the end game content. That is their current idea of a loop, with more being added in the future. Now, we have something nice in my opinion. The mini-games were introduced. There are now 3 mini-games that have been added to the game. We have Tag, which is Tag In. We have Hide and Seek, which is kind of like Prop Hunt. And there's also Beach Volleyball. I have added some screenshots, but if you want, I have shared a link in the description that shows you the entire preview of the mini-games. And I think this is once again a good addition, something to do during downtime for people between patches. Next up, we have some more dungeon changes. There's a chance that an enemy rush can occur. With this happening, you will obtain a lot more red chests. There are also now lucky enemies which kind of look like they are shiny. I think that's a neat little feature to have them stand out. The ticket at the bottom of the screen will double your chests at the end of the dungeon. But for the lucky imagines, I think the lucky enemies, I think it's really cool. And personally, what I just mentioned is I hope to see lucky imagines in the future, and they could be like rare drops, you know. Maybe I'm just a rare drop alcoholic. Anyway, they also added that level sync does not apply anymore if you're in a pre-made party of 3 players or less, or if you end up entering by yourself. I think this is great, so now you can like carry your friends to the early game and things like that. On top of that, they also added that you can hide objects when you're too close to them, so the objects become transparent. I think once again this is good, because not like very often I'd be too close to a wall, because as a archer I play pretty far back and I would not be able to see anything. So this is a very welcomed change. Next up, we have a new event, which seems like they include borders and a background for your adventure card. I think that's cool because I have been collecting those, so more better for me. And as the players have asked for, the towns will now reflect when an event is happening to be more in spirit of the event, as we can see in these screenshots here. I think it's really cool to make the town look more festive, and I'm really glad the devs are listening. Next up, there will be an anniversary gacha. Tickets can be obtained through login bonus and bonus quests. On top of that, we will receive tickets for free for this banner, which is insane. So we'll likely get some costumes. They also have an event that every player will receive this book that will boost one character straight from level 1 to 70. This is great for returning and new players that don't want to go through the process of leveling a character from the start. However, this does not skip story quests, which in my opinion is fine because the story is great anyway. but instead you'll be able to breeze through it. Next up, we have the Gacha outfits. It seems like this time around we have a ninja style theme, and I'm okay with that. The female outfits right here look quite nice, I have to say. Personally, I play as a male character, so it doesn't affect me, but I think they still look quite good. And the male outfits, well, they look a little worse in my opinion, but I still do not mind them. There are still some good ones that you can see there. And we have the mount that looks like it will be another doggy mount. People love the doggy mount, so I'm glad they're doing more of them. However, I think they look fine though. Now for more banners, which are the anniversary banners with more outfits. As we can see, the male, female outfits, and there will be 2 of those. So 2 male outfits, 2 female outfits, as you can see in the screenshots. I think that is quite nice. However, I think overall the game has been going in the right direction, with all these new types of content being added to Chapter 6, the level cap increase, and housing still confirmed to be in the works as well. I think this game has a bright future. Sadly, this time around, they did not mention global in the livestream, but I still hope we are able to get news for global soon. I understand that everybody has been waiting and the silence is rough, but all we can do is hope for the best, because I too would love to play with all of you guys. And I will, however, stream every update that happens on the Japanese server on my Twitch and on my YouTube channel. So if this video helped you and you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Later.